I was just doing a little painting and I got a bit of a run. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of that real quick. There's a couple of things you could do. One's kind of risky. And you can spray it out and chase it out until it gets to a drip. And then you can use something to take that off. Or, what I'll do sometimes is I'll just take my finger and I'll wipe it off. Like so. Then it'll disappear. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Got the headstock over here with some paint on it, and a few other parts back there. So things are looking good. When I'm laying the paint, I like to, it says coat within 1 hour, 48 minutes, or within 48 hours. So I just try to come by and just lay it on, good and thick every coat, and it's really filling out and making for a nice smooth surface and filling in a lot of the junk in the casting. You see, that looks real good and smooth there. So yeah, you gotta wait for this to dry, and then I can start putting my headstock back together. I still have to get a bucket with some solvent in it and drop the gearbox in there, and I'll probably drop that sucker in there for a couple of days and just let it marinate. let it penetrate everywhere, and just get everything good and loose and dissolve and wash a lot of the old grease and dried oil and stuff away, and I'll go about getting it apart and getting some paint on it. I've now gone through two cans of this paint, so that's not too bad. One more can, or well, maybe about another half a can. We'll finish the lathe up. Alright. Now I've gone ahead and cleaned the spindle wicks out in a solvent bath. Probably gave them about 3 or 4 washes just to get everything worked out of them. And so they're pretty good and clean now. And they'll go back in. Probably the only wicks we'll end up reusing. In preparation for the headstock drying, I've gotten us the parts together here. I got the pulley nice and clean. I'll hold off for a little while on remaking that pin because I just don't feel like doing it right now. And it's still functional. Really disappoints me that I did that, those chips there. But hey, I've made the mistake so that you don't have to. so there's that. A lot of people will take and paint the cast portion of these gears. I'm kind of on the fence as to whether or not I'm going to do that. I think I'm probably just going to leave it alone. And I still haven't painted my lever here for my reversing gears. And the reason I haven't done that is because I intend to polish this handle out here before I paint it, and then I'll lay some paint on the cast surface probably, or maybe I'll just leave it alone. I don't know. I haven't decided on that totally yet. So there's that, and the back gear and everything. Let's see, I got the spindle over there wrapped up in a cloth. When you put this together, you want everything just about as hospital clean as you can get it, so you don't get any grit or anything in the bearing surfaces. So that's what I'm going to do. Everything is going to be wiped down a couple times, and then wipe down with a little naphtha on a rag just to get it totally clean, and then we'll put some lube on it as we go ahead and assemble it. So okay, the next clip here, you'll probably see the headstock sitting back up there on the lathe, and yeah, she's looking real good right now. You can see it better now that it's daytime out, and you got a little light coming in the window from over there. So everything is operating smooth. I still don't have the handle. I need to make a handle on here if I can't find one for inexpensively. You'd think English was my second language. Anyhow, if I cannot find one inexpensively, I will be making this handle. So the compound is still not an adjustment yet, and the jib screws aren't tight. So, but the cross slide is just, I'm quite pleased, you know. 'Cause my Atlas, it was a little bit worn, as these dovetails do get over the years from use, and it was getting somewhat tight when I got to the ends of the travel. So this is going to be much nicer to operate. I have the apron casting sitting there in the dip right now, and when it comes out, I'm going to get it all cleaned off and start repairing it. I think that may be a video in and of itself. But you see, I've got all the rest of my apron parts sitting over here ready to go. You just need that compound gear that goes in here that was missing, and its associated shaft. It doesn't seem like many people break those, because I've seen a lot of them on eBay, and that's pretty cheap, and they usually come with the shaft, so I'm going to buy that. But yeah, now I'm also still undecided whether I'm going to paint this lever portion or not. I think I'll leave it shiny metal. Well, as you can see, I got the headstock back mounted up, and put the spindle in there. To get scups cleaned up and put back in place. I know I said in the earlier video when I was going to put this in the dip, I was thinking about leaving these in there. I'm glad I went back and double checked, because while the lid... Sorry I got interrupted there by a phone call. Anyhow, as I was saying, while the little spring lid here is made out of steel, the body itself is actually made out of brass. So that would have been a no-no to put that in the dip. So yeah, it never hurts to have a magnet handy when you're using electrolysis, just to make sure of some things. Put the shims back in. Nothing is really tightened together yet. This is just a preliminary kind of, let's slap it all back together to get it out of the way. And then I'll go through making all the minor adjustments and things once I've gone ahead and finish up the rest of the lathe and the paint work and things. I haven't put the pin back here in the back gear eccentric. The one that I had to drill out in an earlier video. I was looking at that hole. I'm just gonna replace that with a roll pin. So I'm gonna go to the hardware store and pick up a roll pin to do that with. That'll make taking it apart later on a little bit easier too, hopefully. So yeah. Next up, gotta get my gearbox there and some solvent, because I can't put the banjo back or anything much else really without having that gearbox on there. I'd like to get the gearbox back and then put the lead screw on and everything and have it all out of the way. And then I can go ahead and pull the apron out and start worrying about it. and still need to take a torch over that counter shaft. I don't know if I'm gonna do that tonight or not, but it's gonna get done tonight or tomorrow. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you in the next clip here. I was just playing around here, seeing if any of the tooling, seeing the tooling from my Atlas, how it fits the new South Bend, and you know we got the faceplate on now, but they all, you know, all the chucks and everything screw up just about a 16th of an inch shy of the register there, of hitting the register. I had suspected this might be a problem, because while technically this is still, it's the same thread as Atlas used, apparently South Bend used a little bit of a tighter thread. So that can be solved by simply counterboring that just a little bit. And I should be able to do that in the other lathe there, and then everything should fit. All the chucks and everything I have should fit just fine. Another issue I noticed was that the T-nut that's required for the compound here for the tool post is a little bit wider, it's a little bit larger on the South Bend than it is on the Atlas over there, so I'll be having to make a new T-nut in order to use the tool post over there, because I haven't got another tool post. I will get one eventually, when I either come across one, or, you know, if I had a mill I would just make one. It's not that difficult of a thing to make if you've got a mill to make the slot, or a milling attachment for the lathe. I have neither at the moment. Yeah, little issues and stuff. I just had these centers in here and was doing a little alignment, preliminary alignment with my tailstock. And yeah, so that's where we stand now. Yeah, just be aware if you're trying to adapt tooling from an Atlas over to a South Bend, that might be an issue that you run into. Okay, I'll see you in the next scene. I did a little digging around and found my follower, which I believe was for South Bend. And just going and checking here, there's the mount holes, and everything lines up just perfectly. And it's the right size. So, rather happy about that. I'll probably have to go ahead and paint that so that it matches the rest of the lathe. And I'll probably polish up them jaws and clean the bolts and everything, make it look all pretty. So I just thought I'd show that real quick. Yeah, I just came out this morning to kind of get a look at the lathe in the daylight and admire it and decide what I want to do. I was looking at these handles, you know, and I've been thinking about this for a little while, but I kind of got a rather nice satin finish on there. And the original idea here was to buff those out some more, but I kind of like the satin. And focus. There we go. Kind of makes things a little easier to read. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave that way. It is a war finish lathe after all. Maybe they didn't have the super high polish originally. That could use a little more because it's sort of dark, but yeah. Plus, if I ever decide to sell the lathe, that could be an extra selling point. You know, I've got satin dials on there. Yeah, I want to take a file and go ahead and smooth all this out and polish it out with some memory. Then I'll probably go ahead and hit it on the wire wheel so that the finish matches this set, and I'll paint the rest of that body. I'll mask this off. So, but for now, it's just sitting on there. I ran out of paint again, so I gotta go get some more. Well, most of the painting is done now. I only have the apron in there and a couple other minor parts, and then I'll of course be having to do the gearbox, and we still haven't gotten to our gear guard repair yet, so that's coming up soon. Okay, yeah, I'll see you in the next bit. Well, that would have worked had the tag been at all flat. Yeah, I just got done sanding it, and by the time I got all the letters through, I was hitting the background, which I didn't want to do. Well, the parts that came out look good. And what I'll have to do is just come back and touch in the background a little bit. Yeah, I wish that had come out better, but hey, what are you gonna do? I'm pretty sure I could probably order a reproduction of this, but I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'll go ahead and clean it up and get it back on for now. I think maybe with the other tags, maybe I'll just polish them, because this would have been the best of them here, and the other ones are. As you can see, I've started tearing into my gearbox. I just got it out of the solvent dip and then let it dry. You can see it's caused a lot of the paint to basically just fall off of it. It's not great. Washed a lot of the grease and stuff out, and things are freed up nicely now, actually, and that's a good sign. No real rust or anything, you know. Our tumblers are out already. So yeah, I'm just gonna start disassembling this, and then getting the case ready for paint and everything. So, still gotta figure out, try and get that tag off of there without mangling it up too much. But yeah, I'm glad I could finally get into this a little closer and see that. Don't see any excessive wear anywhere, really. No broken gears. There is some wear on this one side of the tumbler gear on these gears, but the nice thing about these is that they're double wide, so you can flip them over, and I could swear that's probably why they made them that wide instead of just using single width. Okay. As you can see, I also have the drum switch all taken apart, and the casing for it is over there in the dip getting clean, and I'll go ahead and fix it up and keep it. I've decided it seems that all the originals did have the drum switch and did have the reversing feature, so I don't know if I'll wire it to reverse or not. I'm not even sure exactly how to do that, so I'd have to look all that up. Anyhow, there's all those pieces. But I could probably polish this plastic up and clean it. If you have to ever take one of these apart, by the way, there's a set screw that's down inside there that you access through that slot. Allen head set screw. So don't try to pry that off, you'll probably break it. I'm glad I examined it closely before I did try to pry it off myself, because it probably wouldn't be here anymore. Okay, this taper pin in here There's the other side there is stuck. I can't get it to budge loose right now, so I'm heating the torch up. I'm gonna get a little heat on it and give that a try. And while I'm at it, since I needed to start the torch up anyways, I'm gonna try and get that sucker to slide off of there. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, I ended up having to drill this out, and the pin that held the collar on held the input shaft and that gear cluster, so that's out now. And I'm not sure which way this taps out. I know there's a long key, or I believe there's a long key in here, and it only comes out one way, so I'm gonna have to go back and look up which way this taps out, this way or if it taps out that way, so I don't end up banging on something and trying to knock it the wrong way. But all in all, this has gone fairly smooth. The taper pins that were drilled out will be replaced with roll pins, just to make future work a little bit easier. You know, damn you South Bend for using these goddamn taper pins everywhere. Come on, guys. You could have done better. Funny enough, the first one that came out was the easiest one. Didn't take any effort. I believe that's a straight pin. I only knocked it out enough to where it cleared and I could get the shaft out. I'll leave that there for now while I get the rest of this apart, and then I'll try and get the tag off. And yeah. So that's where we're at now. I think this video is probably getting a little bit long, so I'm going to wrap it up for now and get this one uploaded. If you like these videos, like them. If you have anything to say or you have any questions, by all means leave a comment. And if you'd like to see more, please do subscribe. And have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. There's a little bonus. Just getting the tag off. These little rivets, see if that'll focus. There we go. These little rivets actually have the little thread on them. And if I'd have known this before, conceivably, you should be able to cut a slot in the top and then just unscrew it, instead of, you know, messing up your tag like I did on the corners. This was already pretty bad anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. But okay, have a nice day. Shiny, shiny metal. It just looks so pretty, doesn't it?